time is it?
It's time for heart!
Kindergarten, first grade, welcome back. Today is our 7th or 8th Gerald McDermott book. It is called Papagayo the Mischief Maker, and we are in a new continent. We are in South America. And next week's story is in South America too. I'm trying to think, which projects have we done? What books have we read? We started in Africa, Anansi the Spider. We did Zomo the Rabbit in Africa. We did The Stonecutter in Japan, Asia. We did Raven in Alaska, North America, and Pig Boy in Hawaii, also North America. I'm gonna claim it because it's part of the United States, and the United States is in North America. In the American Southwest, we read Coyote, and last week was Arrow to the Sun. This week, Papagayo in South America. Enjoy. Okay guys, today's book is Papagayo the Mischief Maker, written and illustrated by Gerald McDermott. And oh my gosh, there's the moon. Papagayo woke up with the sun. He ruffled his bright feathers and opened wide his yellow beak and greeted the morning with a raucous crack. The night creatures were fast asleep, but Papagayo was awake, and he made mischief. Sometimes he would steal fruit from the spider monkey. Sometimes he would surprise the butterflies and send them fluttering in every direction. Sometimes he would fly high up in the sky, clutching a big nut, then drop it with a crack on the armadillo's shell. Whatever Papagayo was up to, he always made a lot of noise. This disturbed the sleep of the night creatures. They would wake up and say, "Please be quiet, Papagayo." The parrot would not stop squawking. And then they would complain, "Not so loud, Papagayo." But the parrot still wouldn't stop. Finally, the night creatures would get angry and scream, "Papagayo, shut your beak!" At night, while Papagayo slept, the night creatures would venture forth in the moonlight. They would gaze at the white sugar moon and croon quiet songs all night long. As dawn approached, they would settle down and sleep through the hot jungle day. No sooner had the night creatures closed their eyes than Papagayo was up, looking for fresh fruit and fresh mischief. One morning, Papagayo was especially loud. The sleepy-eyed sloth had a talk with the bird. "Oh, Papagayo," said the sloth, "you make entirely too much noise. You disturb the peaceful sleep of the night creatures." "Croak, sleepyheads! Why don't you laugh and play all day as I do?" asked the parrot. "Oh, the day is too bright and full of sounds. It makes us afraid, so we hide from the sunlight and the noise. But at night we can creep out beneath the moonbeams and sing gentle songs. We sing softly because we are afraid to disturb the quiet of the night." "Afraid? Afraid?" clucked Papagayo. "How can you ever be happy if you're always afraid? Ridiculous!" Papagayo ruffled his feathers, twirled around the branch, and flew away over the treetops. When darkness fell, the creatures of the night gathered as usual to gaze lovingly at the moon. They looked up with watchful eyes and made soft moon music. But many miles away, in the heart of the rainforest, something stirred beneath the stones of the great ruined city. It was the ghost of an ancient monster dog awakening from a deep sleep. He was a moon eater, and when he woke up, he was very, very hungry. He saw the moon, round, sweet, and delicious, hanging in the sky, and he licked his lips. The bony moondog slipped from the ruins and floated up into the sky. He loped along the pathway of the stars towards the moon. All the night creatures gasped when they saw the fierce moondog pounce on the moon. They watched in terrified silence as he began to nibble at it. Then the moon dog took a big bite out of the moon, scurried across the starry fields of the sky, and disappeared within the crumbling walls of the great ruined city. The next night, the creatures of the rainforest gathered under the stars. Trembling, they looked up at the bite-sized shape that was missing from the moon. "Perhaps the moon dog won't come anymore. Perhaps he's satisfied," they whispered. "We can't complain if just a tiny bit of the moon is missing. Perhaps our beloved moon will grow again and be full." But at midnight, the moon dog came again. He bared his sharp teeth and hungrily began to eat the moon. To the horror of the forest creatures, he returned each night for a week. As the moon dog grew fatter and fatter, the moon became thinner and thinner. After 7 nights, the creatures of the rainforest were too frightened to sleep. After 7 nights, the creatures of the rainforest were too frightened to sleep. They sat silent, blinking in the unfamiliar sunlight, red-eyed and sad, not knowing what to do. Papagayo came flying along just then, singing and chuckling to himself. He was surprised to find all the night creatures wide awake. "Croak! Good morning, my bleary-eyed friends!" Papagayo laughed. "Isn't it past your bedtime?" "It's not funny, Papagayo," they said, pouting. "It's terrible. Each night this week, a moon dog has eaten a bit of our beloved moon. There is only the thinnest sliver left. Tonight he's sure to swallow the last of it, and night will be nothing more than everlasting darkness." "Disgusting," spat Papagayo. "Why don't you stop him?" "Because we're afraid," the night creatures answered in chorus. "There's nothing we can do." "Nothing? Nothing? Croak! There's always something one can do. I'll stay up with you tonight, my friends, and we shall see what is to be done." That night, Papagayo kept a vigil with the night creatures. It was very dark because the moon was now just a slender crescent, but Papagayo tried hard to stay awake. He was just about to doze off when he heard the creatures whimpering. The moon dog had returned, and he was bigger and fatter than ever. He greedily licked the last sweet bit of the moon. "Oh, what shall we do?" the night creatures moaned. "He is eating the last of it. What shall we do?" Papagayo jumped up. "Make noise!" he shouted. "You must make noise!" The parrot flew to a high branch and began to screech. "Croak!" At Papagayo's call, the night creatures began to stir. At first they were timid, but gradually they began to yell and shout. Their sounds grew louder and louder until the jungle echoed with their cries. They howled and hissed and croaked. They cracked sticks and shook bushes and beat a rhythm that every night creature could join in. The moon dog was frightened by all the noise. He jumped off the moon and ran through the sky. He fled along the pathway of the stars and disappeared into the darkness of the great ruined city. "We did it!" shouted the night creatures. "We scared away the moon eater. How brave we are! Now our beloved moon can grow again to fullness." Papagayo cocked his head and clucked. "Now that the moon dog has tasted the sweetness of the moon, he is sure to sneak back. When he comes again, remember what you must do." Oh, but the night creatures, proud of their great victory and tired from all the excitement, were already curling up for a good day's sleep. The sun began to color the sky. Papagayo ruffled his feathers and spread his wings. He opened his yellow beak and greeted the morning with a loud and raucous "Croak!" Not a single creature complained. The end. Good job. Today's Papagayo the parrot is going to be a directed draw. I'm going to start near the top of my paper and draw his head as like a half circle or the letter D turned sideways. Then I will make his body underneath him with his chest puffed out. That also looks like a bigger letter D, capital letter D. I will draw 2 rectangles extended all the way to the edge of the paper. That will be the beginning of his wings. Then I'll draw 2 curved lines that go all the way to the edge of the paper also. After that, at the bottom of his body, where the point is, I'm going to draw some diagonal lines all the way to the edge of the paper. Those are going to be his tail feathers. I'll draw 2 more half circles underneath his tummy. That's going to be the beginning of his legs. And then I will draw 2 tiny rectangles for his little bird legs. And at the end of his bird legs, I will draw little parrot feet. At the top of his head, I want to draw the top beak, which is just 2 curved lines that meet at the point, his tongue, and his bottom beak. I'm going to draw 3 circles that all kind of converge on the edge of the big circle, and that's going to be his eye. And Gerald McDermott's Papagayo is full of geometric shapes, zigzags and rectangles, and more curved lines, and more zigzags on his wings. The more shapes you draw, the more shapes you color. Is just an opportunity to make your parrot super duper colorful. After I draw the zigzags on his wings, I'll add more stripes to his wings. I'll add some patterns to his thighs and patterns and zigzags to his chest. More zigzags to his tail feathers. Stripes, diagonal lines. You name it. Anything you can think of, any patterns you can put in his tail feathers, do it. For the rest of the feathers on his wings, I'm going to draw more lines, except they're going to run perpendicular. They're going to look vertical compared to the other lines on the wings that I've already drawn. And at this point, I'm just going to color in various shapes. I'm going to work my way down the rainbow. I'll start coloring areas red, then orange, then yellow, then light green, then dark green, blues and purples and violets. If you have extra time, if you want to, you can cut out your Papagayo and glue it onto another piece of paper. I've got a bag of feathers in the back closet. I'm going to decorate my Papagayo with feathers. You decorate your Papagayo however you want. I can't wait to see what yours looks like. Stay tuned for pro tips. Last week's pro tip talked about why artists paint from the background up to the foreground. Another thing artists do is they paint from the top to the bottom. Because when you're dealing with gravity, gravity pulls things down. It pulls drips down. And when you paint from the top and it drips, you can fix those drips as you work your way down. If I'm taking a shower, I make sure that I start with my hair so that any dirt goes down. I don't want to clean lower and have the dirt wash down onto parts I've already cleaned. The same would go for your car. I would start with the top of your car. If you were cleaning or painting a house, I would start at the top and work your way down. And yeah, we didn't do that with this mural. We actually started on the bottom, and as a result, I had to clean up a lot of drips along the way, and I painted things. I had to go over things more than once. And I knew that going into this, but I still started low anyway, because that's what the kids can reach without stepping on chairs or ladders. So I guess my pro tip to you is, as a reminder, if you can help it, start from the top, work your way down. Bonus points! Kindergarten and first grade, please tell me when the book Papagayo was published if you want bonus points. See you next week. Bye.